What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the IFTV podcast. The boys are back in town. We've got the crew here. We're missing Peter for today, but he'll be back next week. Guys, we got a lot to discuss.
Absolutely.
There's a big debate going on right now in the community because it's a good problem. It's a problem that we haven't had in quite some time. Scamacca is scoring goals. He scored again today, which means he's got 10 goals and 2 assists in his last 12 games.
He's getting ready. He's getting ready for the Euros. The weather's getting
the
better.
The timing is perfect.
There we go.
Spalletti should be jumping up and down.
Doing backflips.
Well, he had dropped him, and it seems like it lit a spark underneath him because he had problems from even before. Gasperini was saying he needs to run a lot more, that he needs to do more of the simple things. He can't think that he's the phenomenal. Then he got dropped from Italy because, according to the reports, he was playing PlayStation until 4 o'clock in the morning before the match against Ukraine, which was a match that almost made us not qualify for the Euros, if you remember that. So Spalletti said, all right, we're going to push it to the side. Meanwhile, Retegui did so well for the Italian national team, 4 goals in the 5 games that he played. In the league, obviously a little less so. He's got 7 goals for Genoa. But what do you guys make of this? Who are we going to start?
That's a very good problem to have for Spalletti. I mean, that's where we had the problem. The problem was scoring goals, and now we got 2 players that score goals. That's great. You take them, both of them, you'll see what happens. They're going to get together, I think, 10 days before the Euro. You let them practice, see who's in better form, and you start the one that gives you more of a guarantee that it's going to score. And then the beauty is, if it doesn't, then you'll in the 60th minute, you change him, you put the other one.
Scamacca's record for Italy has not been that great. He's played, I think, 16 games. He scored 1 goal, I believe, off the top of my head. So he hasn't obviously started in a lot of those matches. And he's not, like, really good in the box, but he's got a quality that I think you can't dispute, and it's a quality that no Italian striker has, his shots from long range.
It's interesting because they both give an interesting dynamic. And already Retegui reminds me of one of those players that even though he might, even Mission Impossible, even though that he might not be the most informed in Genoa, he reminds me of a player that is just, regardless of his club form, he's just able to find the goal when he plays for the national team. And that's something that's very important to have. Like in the past, like some examples like Nicholas Bender or something for Denmark, he always scored even though he was never the most informed with his club. He was never the best club player, but he stood out for when he played for country. And that's very good. But, as of now, for form-wise, if Scamacca keeps this up, I think he'll be complete. He's one of those complete strikers. He's a big target man, and he's pretty technical for a big player, so I'm very interested.
He could do better in the box is my only critique of him. As like as a
number 9, like an actual number 9, right?
Sometimes it's good to get excited, but it's good even to, to just see the things just calm down a little bit. Scamacca is not the only one that we have. We're gonna have Scamacca, we're gonna have Chiesa, we're gonna have somebody else. Right there, we have a tridente. Even I will just see if they can play together with Retegui too. I mean, there is a way. I mean, if somebody knows how to touch the ball.
Spalletti doesn't play that.
Well, Spalletti, don't worry about Spalletti. Spalletti's going to have to find a way. He's going to have to find a way to use.
You would play them 2 together, you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Retegui, Scamacca, and Chiesa.
Absolutely.
Chiesa
can start on the right hand side.
Gaetano's face was like, is he kidding me?
Listen, are you kidding me? Yo, if you know to play soccer,
where are you gonna play
you're supposed to be adjusting slightly. All we're doing is just... you just offset a little bit the position between, Retegui, maybe put him on the middle over there, or maybe Retegui make him start close to the right-hand side, Chiesa on the left-hand side, or vice versa, and Scamacca leave it on the middle. I don't understand why they shouldn't be able to play that 4-3-3 formation over there. Those are 3 people that they command a lot of attention from defender. So if Chiesa's got the ball and he's get doubled up, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be either Scamacca is going to be open or Retegui is going to be open. You need 3 people that can actually do damage at any time in any whatever position they are playing. So I don't see... You guys are focusing technically only on the fact that Retegui and Scamacca, they're 2 center, they're 2 forwards. I don't believe in that.
Well, I guess people want or are dreaming of Chiesa and Orsolini on the wings, and then one of them as the number 9s, because Orsolini, even if he doesn't always start for Bologna, he's got a good quality as a winger, which would suit what Spalletti plays more. The thing with Scamacca, though, just to finish on him and his conversation, it's never really been a doubt of the qualities. And you see even in the Europa League what he's done, scoring in the important games for Atalanta in those moments against Liverpool, against Marseille. It's more so been the attitude off the pitch. And that's why Spalletti didn't put him there. So I always think back to what Lippi said in 2006. And he says, I didn't choose the best players. I didn't choose technically who was the best. I chose who was going to make the best group and who harmonized together and who chemistry-wise went out and put those guys on display. He had said that he had received criticism when some of the selection. So that was one thing that was very important for Spalletti. And he had a quote saying, I don't need to come here and motivate anybody. You're playing for the Italian national team. So I think those are all things that we can't really judge from the outside. The important thing is Scamacca has to be called up to the team. Yeah, and then once the matches come, you see who's training better. But as you said, it's a good problem to have. Mm-hmm. Finally, want to talk about anything else to add on this? How about we talk about Chiesa? If we're going to talk about the Italian national team, Chiesa against Roma was one of the best games I've seen Chiesa play in a long time. He does everything right. I mean, this Juventus side, at times, they need somebody to save them. They needed anything. And he's so effective. That's the thing I love about him. There's no wasted touches, wasted dribbles. It's always direct to goal or to make a good cross or to make a good pass, or he'll beat his man and take a shot right away. And I feel like there's so many times today's football, I see wingers that they get the ball on the left side, they do a little trick, and then they pass it back. They cut backwards. He is the complete opposite of that. He's pure effective.
Vis-a-vis Leao.
I mean, it's no surprise for me, to be honest. Chiesa is just up there. He's going to be a starter for the Azzurri.
But Mike, he hasn't been having a good season.
No, I get that. But he's the kind of player that when he needs to turn up, he does. And I think he's a big reason why Italy won the Euros. He's just that kind of winger. He doesn't go back. He goes. He's not scared to attack.
But have we seen that since the Euros?
Have we seen? But you also got to argue that he's been on and off in terms of form with Allegri's tactics. He's not being utilized the best way under
So that's why I'm
Allegri's
saying
way.
this game,
but also
I finally saw
too.
the Chiesa of the Euros, and it's a good time to heat up.
But it's not like something that we need confirmation of. We know what Chiesa has to offer, regardless of how his form is with Juventus. So to be honest, he's one of the very few players that has an automatic starting spot for that Azzurri.
I think we all agree. I don't think there's anyone in the world that would disagree.
To play the style that he likes to play.
He
was forced to play his style of playing because
it's not helping.
It was Allegri was
Juve
kind of
style.
he was down 1-0. You have to push the team up, and when Chiesa thrives in a situation where he has to point at the guy and the defender and just take him 1-on-1, then go down or just make a little dribbles one side and then boom, take a shot immediately. So it doesn't have to be begged to for him. Said, hey, you have an opening over there, take a shot.
He
knows what he's doing. Yeah. So the only problem is Allegri. So. The sooner you get rid of Allegri, the sooner Chiesa is going to be on the pitch.
On the 3-5-2, Allegri is playing him on the 2 up front. Yeah. He doesn't like to play with the back to the goal. I mean, you'll see him best when he's on the wing.
He's a winger. He's a true winger.
He's either the right wing or the left wing. Yeah. That's when he does the most damage.
Yeah.
And then he can cross or he can cut in from the left. He can cut in and take a shot. So you have to use him the best way possible. Probably the best way for him is the 4-3-3, where he's going to go on the wing and then cross the ball for the center forward or cut in and take the shot, or the 4-2-3-1, where he's one of the three.
The right or left mid.
Yeah, the right or left, and then he can be closer inside the area. But on the 4-3-3, to me, the 4-3-3 is one of the best formation because the two wings, they know that when you lose the ball, you come back a little bit to midfield, so that if the other fullback comes up, you're watching the fullback. Sometimes when you have two guys up front and they stay like this,
you spread them wide.
The fullbacks, they come up, and then the midfielder has to go pick them up. Exactly. And sometimes, if you're not perfect, then the midfielder is late, the guy's all alone, and it goes up. The 4-3-3 to me is one of the
least confusing for players.
Everybody knows their responsibility.
Exactly.
Defensively, offensively, there's no confusion.
The pushback to that is with the Italian national team. With the center backs that we have, it's probably more adapt to play a 3-5-2 is the issue. with the wing backs that we have and with the center backs that we have, most of that team doesn't play in a 4-man back line. Who's our right back?
What do you mean it's right back? We got Darmian. We got.
He's not a right back. He's a right center back or a right wing back. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the team plays in a 3-5-2. So that's one problem that we have. And even Spalletti tried in the last games to play a 3-4-2-1 formation. So those will be things to adjust. But the point being, what I saw this week was that, or these last weeks, is that if we have an informed Scamacca, an informed Retegui, the guys up top that could play well, Chiesa looking like himself, because it's not that we doubted what Federico Chiesa can do, but we lost sight of it. It's like this season, the first match when they played against Udinese, I saw the spark, I saw the fire in his eyes, and it felt like that dwindled down a lot. And it's sad to see, because he can be one of the most talented players in all of Europe when he's in a place to succeed and when he's in a position that he likes to play. And the rest of the guys, I don't doubt our goalkeeper. I don't doubt our midfield even, because our midfield is so good. Our wingbacks are some of the best. It really was the attack. And the fact that we're heating up ahead of June is an important factor.
On the 3-5-2, okay, the 5 in the middle. Mm-hmm. The 2 are wings that go up and down. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they work very, very hard. They go up and down. The 2 up front, if one of them is the center forward, Scamacca, then the other guy has to be Chiesa, because where are you going to put him? Mm-hmm. That means you need the midfielder to score goals. You cannot expect all the goals to score by one guy, you know, because if Chiesa now goes to the left, he goes to the right, he makes the cross, somebody in the middle has to score the goals. I know he can cut in and he can shoot, but if you got the 2 wings on the 5, if you got the 2 wings that go up and down, is there space for Chiesa to go to the wing if there's a wing there? If you have either Di Lorenzo, Darmian go all the way up front, and Di Marco is all the way up here, and Di Lorenzo, Bellanova, whoever it is, and they are like this. You know, does he have the space, or is he going to get stuck in the middle where it's not really his best position? Yeah. And then you need the midfield, those 3 guys in the middle. They got to score goals.
Pellegrini, Barella, Fratesi. They need to make the darting lines. I'm
more interested if Spalletti's gonna be rigid or not, and really change his below 4-3-3 to make it fit a little bit more for that Zuri. Because there's formations, there's a lot of pros and cons in terms of formation. Because defensively, it seems like a 3-man backline will work, but offensively, a 3-man up front would work better. So he has a lot of homework to do and a lot
not that
of
much
testing.
time.
And not that I think there's only does he have a friendly before the Euros? I believe so. But
yeah, he's got to have a game before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think there's 2 games. There's 2 matches still to go right before. But still,
the most important thing that we needed to discuss is that you need to be over there healthy and informed and just mentally prepared, because you know, being that you showcase your skills during the campionato. Now we're talking about a different level. We're talking about an international competition. We're talking about a big game. Those are big games where you're supposed to be showing up. Okay, it's not an excuse. There is no excuses for this big game. Not for you to be the leaders into the team. Yeah. So everybody that is wearing that Italian national team jersey, they are all leaders on their team. So now is their time just to bring their leadership, to transfer from the team that they play into the Serie A into the pitch when they play for Italy. Okay.
So one of the speaking about leadership and speaking about that Roma game, it was so good to see that match. It kind of reminded me of like a Premier League game, how intense and back and forth and up and down it was, so many chances. It was a beautiful game that it could have went either way for the opportunities that Roma had, but then also the ones that Juventus had with Dusan Vlahovic. Dusan Vlahovic is he's becoming a frustrating player, because there's times where he looks world class, and then there's times where he misses too many chances to be considered in that echelon of, you know, world class players, right? But great game, and it's crunch time for Roma. They lost the game against Bayer Leverkusen 2-0. I was very disappointed. We could break that down. They have this tie against Juventus. Now they have to play Thursday, Bayer Leverkusen return game in Germany, and then they play Atalanta, which is a direct battle for the 5th place in Italy. And my question for you is, how does he prioritize energy levels going forward? Does he have to say, all right, the game against Leverkusen is done and dusted, we can't expend ourselves too much, because there was a clear dip in energy from the first game, the first leg of the semifinals, to the match against Juventus. What does he have to prioritize to get Roma in Champions League?
What he has to prioritize is the next game, okay? And this is, I know it's everybody says it, I'll take it one game at a time, but he needs to concentrate on the next game, and he's got to use all his energy on that game. Once that game is finished, he'll worry about the next game.
Easier said than done.
You cannot worry about the second game that you're going to play before you play the first game. Get everything that you can, the best players, the best form, the best energy, pressure if you have to pressure, whatever you have to do to win the next game.
But do you think they have a chance against Bayer Leverkusen, 2-0 down in Germany?
Of course they do.
I think they have a chance, because if you watch at the game that they played against Leverkusen, okay, one goal was given by Cardos. He passed the ball back. I mean, I hate when they pass the ball back all the time. And this guy passes the ball back. The guy gets the ball. It's a goal. On the second goal, okay, they have 7 players inside the area, and the guy that is on the edge of the penalty, he's got no pressure. Where is the center midfielder? The center midfielder was out of position. Pellegrini was out of position. Cristante was out of position. You need to, if there was a center midfielder right there, the guy wouldn't be able to take that shot. He had no pressure at all. He took his time and he placed the ball. It was a nice... Okay, so you're never going to have every game where you have the high intensity and you have all that energy. But if you don't bring it to that game, avoid the mistakes. There were 2 big mistakes in the game. You avoid those 2 mistakes, okay? The game is a tie game. And if I'm not mistaken, Abraham missed an open net, okay?
Lukaku hit the crossbar.
Lukaku hit the
Lukaku-
Azmoun was one-on-one.
Lukaku, Asmo. So you had, sometimes if you don't play your best game, okay, but don't do stupid mistakes.
But it was more than that. It was more than just the mistakes. Because I get what you mean. That really killed it, Karsdorp. But what I saw was a lack tactically from De Rossi in this match of the way that he read the game. I haven't said this much. I've been a lot of praise for De Rossi, but he got this game totally wrong. He was playing a high line. Roma was playing a high line in defense, and Leverkusen has such great wingers that get in behind that were so fast. They caught them out every single time. Roma had no speed in the defense. Frimpong was doing whatever he wanted, and then he put Florian Wirtz as a false 9 to open up that space and not play with Boniface, who's a bigger, more physical number 9, which Roma likes to play in defense. And they couldn't find a way to figure that out. It could have been more from Leverkusen.
It's really strange, and I don't know if we're going maybe too hard on Roma. There's a chance, but it's definitely not on their side. Leverkusen is, I don't even think arguably, I think they are the most informed team in Europe right now. They haven't lost a game. And
48 games unbeaten.
They're breaking records left and right. And yeah, they made some stupid mistakes. They also the deficit could have been smaller too. They missed chances themselves also. But to come back in Germany and overturn 2-0 is really tough. But you can't just roll over. I get it's only 2 goals. You score an early goal, game's on. So I think they gotta go full blast and really go for this, because it's a last chance. They can make history and go to the final.
So tactically, what did they do different, Anto?
I'll tell you what.
Because they got it all wrong.
Well,
last week.
What you just said, it's very obvious. Everybody watched the game. But moving forward, what De Rossi is not supposed to do is the same mistake that normally Pioli does, because you were already questioning. Your father says, well, in the light that we already lost 2-0, should we fold it and should we just think about maybe positioning ourselves to be on the Champions League? That is wrong. I agree with Gaetano 100%, because what Pioli does, he says, okay, you know what? I'm thinking about another game before I'm even playing this game right now, even though, this is an important game. If De Rossi downplay the fact that it does, according to you, does not have a chance to move forward, that's a major mistake.
I was asking a question. I'm not saying that he was, and I think De Rossi is not somebody that makes that calculation.
If the game gets out of hands, Marco, if the game gets out of hands, let's say on the first half, they're losing 2-0, then De Rossi can start to think, management in terms of, players, Dybala, energy, whether he can get hurt or whether something can happen. Then at that point, you lost at home 2-0, you're losing 2-0, then you can start to do it. But don't put the second line to begin the game. You're just thinking about it that, you know what, I'm going to do the best that I can just to leave with the least amount of damage from Dortmund. You don't do that. You have the respect of the game. You're still on. To me, Roma still has 30% chance to qualify. It's a game. Anything can happen. So you make 1 or 2 adjustments. Gaetano knows anything can happen. A red card, a penalty, a deflection. You are back on the game. If Roma wins 1-0 at the end of the first half, and then for some reasons, they wind up tying the game, winning 2-0 on the second half, it goes to overtime and penalty. You're telling me you're not going to take a chance? No, you don't. You do not discount right now, just because Roma lost 2-0 on the first leg. Do not discount that. It's 2-0. It's not 4-0. 4-0. Hey, it's over.
I'm not saying it's over. I'm just asking the question of what do they do differently to get a win? They were playing at home, and I always say when you're playing away, like Atalanta played Marseille away, you tie, very good result. I'm happy with that. Fiorentina were playing at home with the man up. They win 3-2. When you're playing at home and you're playing against one of the best teams in Europe, they're the storyline of the year, you have to do more than what you did in that match. Because going back, how do you adjust from that? What do you learn? What can you do actually different? That's more so what I'm...
could have won when they played Leverkusen on their home. They could have won the game at least with two goals. 2 additional goals. So they wound up tying the game over there. They lost when they came home. AC Milan played better when they were away from San Siro than when they came back to Milan. So this all of this BS about the yellow wall and all of these scary things that is it's the yellow wall.
Dortmund.
He said Dortmund before too. What are you talking about?
Leverkusen. All right, it's the same shit. Almost the same shit.
So
what I'm trying to say, do
Completely
not
different.
discount the fact that
Gotcha.
you're playing away.
Yeah.
That you are playing away, and then you're gonna have the
He's
fold.
trying to move on.
You're gonna have the fold. They don't fold anything.
Yeah, you're right. Guys, as you can see, Antonio's wearing our Italy hat, which is dropping on Friday. We also, we're going all out. The Euros are coming up. We're getting excited. We have flags. Mike is going to open them up in the meantime. And as you can see, I'm also wearing a jersey right now. This is a jersey that we designed from scratch, and it took us like 8 months to get this fixed. If you check some of our Instagram stories, you saw that we were in Italy. We did a photo shoot for this around Florence. The pictures are going to come out absolutely amazing. There's so much hidden detail. We know people weren't too happy with some of the Italy shirts in the recent past, so we said, you know what? Let's do it on our own. This is coming out soon, not yet, but on Friday, you'll have the ability to get these flags that say Forza Azzurri.
We got another one too.
We always get people asking for this. People have taken our flags to stadiums all around the world. San Siro, when we watched Italy against Ecuador in New Jersey, there were people with the flags. That one's going to be Forza Azzurri, and then we're bringing back Sundays are for calcio, which is a saying that we often use in our group chats. So why not? Get ready, Friday. You could also get a 1-hour pre-sale for these items if you sign up to our mailing. I hope we're just showing this angle of them two struggling the entire
This is
time.
what happened because they made a big mistake.
Hold it up with your left hand, Anto. Sundays are for calcio.
Okay,
listen, I made
now it makes sense in the crowd when they hold the flags backwards or the
Yeah, we
stars
got
backwards.
Dumb and Dumber doing that.
I got it the right way.
So real
just the
quick,
time.
Listen, real quick. Dean made me this Roma drink that is called.
Can't even do a promotion.
It's called Leverkusen mix up.
Yellow
in other
wall.
words,
Yellow wall.
Yeah, the yellow wall. So
looks orange to me.
I'm gonna blame it on Dean. Dean made a spectacular drinks with Campari.
Don't give away our recipe.
Yes,
Oh, what's the matter with you?
He just made it up.
It's copyright.
This is our.
It's copyright. Okay.
So Marco,
we're gonna be marketing the IFTV drinks of the
Absolutely.
month. So
If you buy from us on Friday, we'll send you the ingredients to this drink if Dean allows us to. There's flags. There's going to be those hats.
that's right.
And then we'll have more coming
we're
soon.
dropping them.
We're not giving that
The
away.
blame to you, but the drink is excellent, guys.
not
What
giving
an ad.
So I was gonna say real quick. I think what Marco wanted to finish saying. We're dropping these things
He's a
Friday,
drunk.
so we're gonna have the exclusive mailing list on the top of the description. So if you want to get it nice and early, Make sure you sign up for it. Dropping Friday. Get ready, guys.
You get 1 hour pre-sale.
If
you
you're
sign up for
getting
it.
ready for the Euro, I mean, there's no better way to watch the Euro with this T-shirt, that cap, and this
These
flag.
flags.
That's right.
I mean, you have
And
to
this
have
drink.
and the drink. The drink. We're not giving it away.
Oh, boy.
It's not for
greedy.
sale. Hey, can you ship the drink on the mail?
So-
No, we can't.
I don't
We'll
think
try to find a
So
way.
we should maybe we'll do it on the next one. We'll have the shirt, the cap, and the flag around
That's
us.
right.
That's how you should be watching the Euro. I have a few friends that when they watch the game, they go and change they change all the
Say
clothes
the name. Say the names.
to watch the game. You know, they get it really on. So
A lot of
the-
Italians do that.
yeah, this would be the perfect. I mean, they thought about everything. So I think there's even shorts, but you probably have those already.
We just listened to what people told us.
Yeah.
Everybody kept asking to bring these flags back that we have hung up.
Yeah.
And we hadn't in a while for some reason. So we said, this is perfect time. We want to see somebody who's going to the Euros get that on TV. If somebody gets that on TV, we'll give you any signed jersey that we have hung up. That's my promise.
No.
Yes, it is. That's my
Any
promise.
Milan. Any Milan.
If you buy one of our flags.
You meaning
and you get-
I will sign the flag?
And no. And you get this flag on TV, the Forza Azzurri or Sundays are for Calcio, you will get one of the signed jerseys here.
Of Antonio.
No, a real
That's
one.
right. They'll be so lucky to get a signed jersey by me.
All right, so now that you're in a good mood, let me bring you down, Antonio. Let's talk about Stefano Pioli and your Milan team. 3-3 against Genoa. Did you have something to add?
What a
real quick?
match.
Yeah, did we finish with Roma Juventus? Or
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna go back.
Did you have something to add?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
We'll give you on your high for right now.
Excuse me.
Now.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so I wanted to add something to Roma Juventus. That was one of the best games that I've watched.
It was entertaining.
On the second minute, Chiesa took a shot. On the
Six
6
shots.
minutes, Vlahovic from Chiesa pass, he almost scored a goal.
Should've
On the
been a
10
goal.
minutes, Christensen hit the post. On the 15 minutes, it was 1-0 by something spectacular by Dybala with 3 players inside the area. Most players that will lose the ball there. He gave it to Cristante. Cristante shot, and Lukaku scored. On the 25th, 26th minute, Lukaku and Pellegrini took 2 more shots. On the 30th minute, magic by Chiesa. The guy, he went down the line, he chopped, and Pellegrini was on the ground. That's why sometimes if you're not a complete player, if you're a midfielder, you have to be a complete player. You cannot go down on the floor. And Chiesa, he chopped, he made a cross where Bremer, who's 6'2", he was jumping with Christensen, who's 6'2". The guy jumped a foot higher than Christensen. Okay, and that was on the 30th minute. On the 37th minute, the ball shot from a foul from outside the area. On the second half, the first minute, magic by Chiesa. He hits the post. He chopped the Christensen like nothing, and then he hit with the left foot. He hit the post and came out. Then Chiesa took another shot. And the 20th minute, Pellegrini alone in the middle of the area by Baldanzi. He gave him a ball in the middle. Pellegrini is over himself. He didn't even hit the goal, the target. On the 25th minute, Christensen took a shot. On the 30th minute, Locatelli took a shot.
Wow.
Right in the Christensen, actually, the ball was going in. He missed the shot, but it was going in, and Danilo saved it. On the 30th minute, Locatelli took a shot right in front. He was all alone, but he missed the shot. It was going in. On the 40th minute, Keane, header. I mean, the goalie made a spectacular save. And on the 45th minute, Azamon gives a ball to Abraham all alone with the keeper. And the guy took it down instead of going up.
First touch was bad.
Yeah, the first.
Watch
the
out,
first
Matteo
touch,
Bonetti. We got my dad's coming for your job.
The first,
This play-by-play.
the
Yeah,
first touch
listen.
was very bad. But this is, wow, this game should have been played. These games. These are they should be played.
Very
Well said.
entertaining.
Yo,
Very
Dean,
entertaining.
you see what did you do with the drink with this guy here? The drink, it's just
He didn't drink that much
Amazing.
either. That must be a strong.
Amazing.
drink.
No, he's right. It was
Amazing.
one of the best games.
It
I didn't want it
was.
to end.
It was
I
very
would have.
very
I would have taken another 45
For
minutes
sure.
willingly. So beautiful, beautiful match
It
overall.
was a match of the goalkeepers.
Now can
A lot
I
of saves.
can I bring Antonio down now? Is that all right?
Yeah,
Can I
okay.
bring him down?
Bring me
Yeah,
down.
let's bring
We'll
you
never
down.
say
You don't
no
have
to
to bring
that.
me
Bring it
down.
down.
We'll never say no to that.
Hold on, let me tee you
You're
up.
gonna have to bring me down.
So you tied 3-3
Yeah,
to Genoa.
yeah.
Craziness also from the Curva Sud in Milano, who announced before the game that they were not going to sing. They're not going to bring banners. They walked out in the 80th minute. I've never seen a scene like that in San Siro. because they want a reaction from the management. They are not happy with some of the decisions that they're reportedly making. They want a coach who's going to foster the young talents, who's going to reignite the spirit. And some of this backstory is that Lopetegui was rumored to get the job for Milan. The fans revolted. They put out a hashtag Lopetegui. And it seems like, if you listen to the reports, it worked. And Milan management is not going to go with him, which also might be another problem, by the way. A little bit scary if you listen to the fans too much. Your reaction, forget about just the 3-3, because I don't think the details of the game matter. Overall, everything that ensued from that game.
You know, you brought Pioli up. Pioli looked already resigned. That means I'm no longer the coach of here. I'm just trying to save the face. I'm putting the team on the field. He makes all of those changes, even, given the fact that AC Milan, by luck, went up 3-2 on Genova. Then Genova, of course, immediately they tied the game. I mean, the game was that is when I was expecting. It was like I was numb. You know, when you're numb, that you're not excited about the game. You let it go by. Yeah, you let it just go. It's like you are becoming Mr. Teflon. Everything, nothing bothers you anymore. So what bothered me the most was the curva. The curva leaving 10 minutes before the game, that bothers me the most. And that tells me...
You don't agree with it?
I do agree. So
what bothers you?
You know, it bothers me to the fact that their protest could have been more direct instead of just being, leaving the field. Just come up and say, what is it that you don't like? Maybe it's the management that you don't like. This new role of Ibrahimovic is not really convincing me that much. Who brought this Lopetegui up to begin with? If Ibrahimovic, in Italy, we call it, is supposed to be the braccio destro of Cardinale. I don't think the Ibrahimovic is going to be the braccio destro, because obviously somebody must have said to Cardinale, let's go for Lopetegui. No, there is no more Lopetegui, it's Lopetegui. Who's going to be the next one? I think Ibrahimovic is going to become a major problem for AC Milan. I love the guy. I mean, I can have I can go
100 beers.
Oh, 1,000 beers with him. But Ibrahimovic is not Maldini. He didn't bring anybody during the winter when AC Milan needed to shore up the defense. He's not. I don't think he's got the talent. It doesn't have the management skill for him to look at the players.
You're judging a little bit early, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I know it's not. I know it's not. In Italy we say il buongiorno si vede dal mattino. Mm-hmm. Okay, that means you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to already make some splash. So far, he's been on board, Ibrahimovic, with Cardinale since he's on the payroll. He hasn't done anything.
But just, I get what you're saying, and I get how it's easy to make the comparison from two former players with Maldini and with Ibrahimovic, but their roles are very different. Ibra's role is technically an advisor to Cardinale. Maldini's role was a very deep role. It's direttore sportivo. That's an important role within Italy, where you're choosing the players directly. Zlatan is speaking for Cardinale. He's kind of like his eyes and his ears.
So who's the direttore sportivo?
It's Furlani and Moncada.
No, they're not.
Those are the guys deciding the players.
They're not.
They are, though.
They're not.
They are.
Ibrahimovic, to me, he has a higher role in decision making than those two guys. Those two guys, they have the title.
He's just
but on the
face.
paper, that's right. On the paper, they have the title to direttori sportivi. Ibrahimovic has been put on top of that to just look what they're doing and just give the thumb up or the thumb down to Cardinale. This is what I see.
What I think is, I think we're putting way too much blame on Zlatan. I think he's there more just for face of the fans. And secondly, I think the magic of Pioli and this Milan has just faded away, and now it's in need of another chapter of an exciting new team with an exciting new manager with new ideas. So I don't really think anyone being in that position of Zlatan's gonna do much of a difference. I just think they need the season to finish. They get a new manager, they get new players, and figure out what the future of Milan's gonna be.
No, Mike. Well, let me respond to that. In AC Milan right now, there is a massive confusion. There have been already 5 or 6 names. Or maybe Conte is going to be the AC Milan. Today I heard the name of Sarri, that is going to be the name. Then it went into the Fonseca, and then it went to Conceição. There is a lot of confusion.
Yeah, that happens.
You know, that's what happened. So when you have too many people steering the boat goes round and round. The boat needs to go straight. That AC Milan need a leader. Right now, right now, the ownership does not have a leader. There is a power struggle on AC Milan, and it's evident on the choices. I mean, a choice. Spend $10 million and get the best coach over there. Hello?
You paying buddy.
Don't worry about it. The money's there.
I think there's some.
Spend $10 million and get the best coach.
I think there's some truth to what Antonio's saying. I think that it does feel like a little bit of confusion within Milan, just because if they are going for a coach like Lopetegui, you should not listen to the fans.
That's right.
You should not listen to the fans for your decision to revolt. But at the same time, Anto, I think it's normal to have options, and it's normal to have different coaches because you're looking for a house to buy. You go see 4, 5, 6 houses to identify which is the best. And they have to see the profile that they want. The bigger thing for me is, you guys know, I've always said I think that Pioli's cycle with Milan has been over. I've been saying this since the new year. I've thought that they needed to move on because of some of the problems within the squad. I have to tell you now, I have more doubts over that opinion than I do guarantees. Because I'm not seeing a coach out there that 100% convinces me that they take the next step up. And when you start to evaluate the season as a whole, I look at the defense. The defense is atrocious.
Horrible.
I mean, Tomori's fixing his shin guard on the goal? Is that Pioli's fault? No. The injuries that they've had within the squad, the amount of new players that were added. Milan still finished second place. It's not a disaster of a season.
No, it's garbage. It's garbage. I'll tell you the reasons why. Let me tell you something. AC Milan, when Berlusconi was the president, he went out of the way without listening to the curva to anybody to get Sacchi. Sacchi was unknown.
That's what Capello said, yeah.
Hold on. Sacchi was unknown when Berlusconi went to get Sacchi. But you know what Sacchi had to deal with? Gullit, Van Basten, Baresi, Rijkaard, you name it. Nothing but the best player. So the coach could be like a mediocre or a secondary person, but are the champions on the field, the players that makes the team. So the coach, it is important, but are the player, they're not there for AC Milan. Yeah. We only have this Leao and Teo Hernandez. Magnan is done too. This Leao.
So then isn't that an argument for Pioli?
What?
Isn't that an argument to keep Pioli?
Well, not to keep him, but
why not? Because if you're saying you don't have the players,
like
and the players are a huge
aspect. The player that AC Milan has right now, they cannot be compared. Not even close to the player that AC Milan had when they won.
No, you're the only person who's brought that up.
Let me just say, Pioli's cycle, it's over. Forget about Pioli. Let's not bring Pioli into the equation anymore.
But is it if you haven't identified a clear coach that's better than Pioli?
I can. They made the name of Conte. I mean, I don't like Conte personally, but I think Conte personality is somebody that can bring somebody like Leao.
Okay, we're in agreement.
Sit him down and say, hey, this is what I want you to do. Enough of this BS.
Let's go on to the next one, because I agree with you.
And Conte can make the decision. I'm sorry. Conte can just say to Ibrahimovic and to Cardinale, I'm going to be the coach. This is what I want before I even start.
But I think we used an easy example, because if you tell me Antonio Conte, I say yes, sack Pioli, get Antonio Conte. He comes with a lot of baggage, but I think that he is a clear improvement on a coach, and he makes you competitive right away. But it doesn't seem like they're going to get Conte. If you tell me Thiago Motta, I think that we'll all sit here in agreement and say, yeah, Thiago Motta, I like it. If you talk about De Zerbi, I'm just throwing out names. But when you start going down the list and you tell me, Lopetegui, Fonseca, Conceição, I like him. But when I'm talking about just conviction, when you talk about conviction, do you really feel a conviction from one of the names that is being linked?
No.
What do you think? You haven't chimed in yet.
No, I agree. I agree with everything that you said. If you're going to improve, yes, you change the coach. If you're not going to improve, keep Pioli and keep him there. The other thing is, why did the fans walk out 10 minutes before? What was the reason why they walked out?
Their message before the game was that they want to see a strong management make a clear decision and to bringing a coach who will foster the youths.
That's fine. So it seems like that
re-energize the squad.
So it seems like that there is no communication between the team and between the fans. And that's where somebody like Ibrahimovic could come in. I'm sure that if Maldini was there, he would have had this communication where they would say, hey, we're going to improve and we're going to get the right coach for this team. But with whatever you're saying with
That's a good point.
Ibrahimovic. He doesn't. What he's there for? He's there to. Usually when you have a problem with the curva, you send the ambassador to talk to them. That's a way, because they won't talk to the management, but they'll talk to the players, and especially if you represent that team. In the past they had De Rossi, they had Totti, they had Del Piero. They will listen to somebody like that. So why isn't
They're not listening. I'll tell you the reasons why.
Isn't Ibrahimovic
The
doing that?
curva right now is part of the decision making on AC Milan, and it shouldn't be that way.
No.
With all due respect for the curva, I am a hardcore AC Milan fan. But when management buys the team, spends the money, they are responsible to put the best player and the best coaching staff right there in the place without even asking. The curva right now, they are factoring their power into the no power into the management of AC
I agree
Milan.
with you.
Okay.
Well, what does a curva have to do with any decisions?
But listen,
They're not the ones that understand what's going on
But
within
at
the
end of day,
club.
I think we're talking about too much about the little. We're talking about director. We're talking about the curva. We're talking about the fans. We're talking about all this stuff. When they start playing good, all these things are going to dissolve. All these problems are going to dissolve, and everyone's going to be
But
united
they're not playing
again.
good. That's why we're having this
I
conversation.
get it, but the season's
So
over. There's nothing
but
to.
we're past that.
get
We're
a-
saying, how do they become a team that the curva can be proud of
You
again?
get a good coach. For
Who?
next season.
Okay, so now, guys,
Conte.
we've gone all the way
Conte.
around Conte, but go past Conte, because according to the rumors, he is not the coach that's lined up to take Milan.
Yeah.
So out of those names that we've talked about, who do you see?
I don't like anybody.
I
don't like anyone.
Fonseca.
I don't like Fonseca. I don't like Lopetegui. I don't like Conceição. So if you're gonna improve and you're gonna give me the Serbi or Conte, okay, then we'll
Or
talk.
Thiago Motta?
Or Thiago Motta. Otherwise, you keep Pioli.
I am on the same wavelength as you with this. Those are the guys that give me guarantees that I could see a clear improvement. The rest, and again, this is from somebody that I said Pioli, the cycle had to go. If I was Milan, I would go all in on Thiago Motta. I would offer him
Even
more money.
Palladino, man.
I would go and say,
Go for
you know what?
Palladino.
Let's make the decision. If not, focus on improving the squad. Pioli's proven that he could get the most out of teams. Which is the name out of the Fonseca, Lopetegui, Conceição? Which of those three, which seem like the most realistic ones, do you want?
I like as a style, as a person, as a style, as a coach, and as a character person, somebody that can just translate for what he has on the paper on his mind into the character of the player that he's coaching. I like Conceição more the best so
He's
far.
coached at a high level as well.
I like him. I like
But
Conceição.
got good character.
But with Conte and Sal, you're gonna get that defensive, like Simeone kind of football, that Catenaccio kind of.
Are you okay with that?
That's a big
No,
thing
it's-
because
it
a lot of
doesn't-
fans
it
don't
doesn't-
like that.
No, it doesn't play Catenaccio.
He
Conceição
does.
doesn't
He
play
plays
no, no,
defensive.
no.
He does. That's
It's
what
a gritty
not.
type of football.
he does. He plays like Simeone. He's similar to Simeone.
He's got Conceição is someone that I've seen coaching that he can just change formation while the game is going on. This Pioli that we have is stuck on the 4-2-3-1, and when the situation calls for you to make an adjustment on the field, it's not capable. The team it freezes.
They do look very individual at times.
It's
and
not capable.
they go through moments of confusion. I know honestly, we're speaking out loud because we don't have the perfect solution. But again, when you're Milan management, they have a big decision to make right now because they can't slip up. The other teams are getting better. Juventus might bring in Thiago Motta. Inter's only going to improve. De Rossi with Roma. Atalanta is getting better. So many of these squads are going through overhauls, and Milan can't slip up. I think there is an over-exaggeration because, guys, they finished in second place. They shouldn't be as far from Inter as they are. It was a disappointment in the 2 games against Roma. I think if they were going out against Bayer Leverkusen right now, our conversation would be a lot different. And the optics look bad, losing the derby to Inter for the first time ever. All these things do play into effect how the curva feels. And I think I understand why they can be upset, but I don't think that they could hold the power that the management should look at, oh my God, the fans are not happy. Because in that case, so many decisions in football look awful in hindsight, but then afterwards, you're able to see. Where should we go? Where shall we go next? What's our next topic?
The next topic. We have to say that there was Sunday was a Greek Easter. Michael, happy Easter.
Thanks.
Thank you for to
appreciate
bring
it.
the leftover the lamb over there.
It was all gobbled up.
It was all gobbled up.
Yeah, we had a lamb and a pig.
Oh my God.
No leftovers. There's a lot of people.
Sorry, I should have clarified when I asked my question. Which one of the cultural topics do we
cultural
want to move
topics,
on
I'm
to next? Dad, why don't you choose?
Why don't
You're the only one on track
Why
right
don't
now.
we talk to Atalanta because they play the European? So I would
Yeah.
like to say a couple of things about the European and where Atalanta is going.
Go, we'll
and,
follow you.
And where. So with the with Atalanta on the European game, again they they did well, but on the goal
That they conceded.
that they conceded, they had 8 players inside the area. 8 players inside. The 4 players outside the area from the other team, there was no pressure at all. And this is what happened to when you consider it happened on the Roma game and it happened on this game. You cannot go too far back and have all the players inside the area when you have 3 players or 2 players from the other team and you have 8 players. Those players, they need to push in front outside the area so that you put pressure on the guys that are there. Otherwise, they can do anything they want. If you watch games and you see that there's no pressure on the midfielder right outside the area, the goal is coming.
I mean, yeah, we could get into the nuances of the mistakes that Atalanta make, but overall, when you go
Overall,
away
I
with the
know.
quality that Marseille has, also with the chances that Marseille had within the match, I take the draw away, and I'm thoroughly impressed with Atalanta's season. They're also in crunch time. I know I mentioned that Roma had an important couple of days. Atalanta have the return leg against Marseille. They have the match against Roma. They have the Coppa Italia final against Juventus. Potentially then they go to the Europa League final, and just to finish out the season, they're doing great, and it feels like Gasperini knows his best 11 now. Throughout the entire year, we didn't know who his striker would be, which players got to play here. He was switching it up. Now you know. Cup Miners again scoring goals. The guy is a number 9. The guy scores goals better than most teams' strikers.
Didn't you guys bought him already?
No.
I thought that he signed up with you guys already.
No, they wanted I think 60 million, and guess what? That price is going to keep going up.
Yeah, he's been doing very good. And
Brilliant player.
And you do have to give it to Atalanta. They're the only Italian team right now that are in all the competitions. So Gasperini really knows how to rotate the squad, it seems like. They just got a vital win against Salernitana. They were down 1-0, but they still managed to come back and get a win. They got to fight on all fronts, so it's really interesting to see. They got a lot of talented players, and they're going to get I think they're going to get a nice budget to spend in the Mercato.
Let's just throw it out there right
Marco,
now.
To me, they already leaped over Roma right now as we speak, right? In the Classifica. They have the game on hands with the Fiorentina. To me, they're going to leap even over Bologna for the 4th place. And then maybe it's going to be a struggle between Bologna and Roma for the 5th and or 6th and final place.
Let's just play a fun little game of if it happens, if Atalanta go to the final of the Europa League, and if, hopefully it doesn't, but if Leverkusen go. Does Atalanta have the best shot to stop Leverkusen's
Absolutely.
unbeaten
If
streak?
they can stop Liverpool, they can stop Leverkusen.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Not even a question. 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
It seems like that this team cannot lose a freaking game.
They don't die.
Mamma mia. I mean, they're losing by 2 goals and with, 5 minutes to go, and they manage to tie the game. They manage to win games. When there's no time left, they win the game.
There was their last
It's incredible.
their last 3 Bundesliga matches, the 2 before the one this weekend, they were losing to Stuttgart. They scored 2 goals. One of the goals came in the 97th minute. They were down 2 goals.
Yeah.
Again, they scored 2. The match before that, they played Dortmund.
Yeah.
They were down. They scored in the 96th minute. The game against Karabakh, they were out. They were gone. Patrick Schick comes in.
That guy Schick, he scored what, 2-3 goals on that?
He scored like four goals in the 90th minute plus
Past
out of his
90,
5
yeah,
goals,
past
something
90.
like that.
It's in the air. If you're having a good
I
season,
know.
like Milan that time, everything was working.
He
And they're
can't do-
calm.
he
They're
can't do
calm.
anything wrong.
Even when they're losing, they're relaxed. They don't lose their mind like some teams. They don't panic. They're like, oh, we've been here. And that only helps. I kept waiting. I really wanted them to lose in the Bundesliga because I think it would have helped a lot for
Yeah.
Roma.
Mentality
I just
wise.
want, just so that they realize like they're human, that hopefully things can go wrong. But respect to them. They're doing things the right way, and they are playing beautiful football. But I do agree with you guys. I think Atalanta could be a great challenge.
Definitely.
Great challenge.
Atalanta is going to get the game to them. They're not going to wait for them to take the
It's
game
also
to Atalanta.
one game.
Yeah.
It's also
That's
one
it.
game.
Changes
and-
a lot.
Yeah.
Dad, where should we go next?
Yeah.
Since
You
I'm looking at
can,
you as the leader.
Bologna. Fiorentina, actually.
Fiorentina. Right now, in this week, there were 7 tie games. 7 tie games. A lot of these games, when you're playing against a Verona, when you're playing against a team that needs Cagliari, when you're playing,
fighting for points.
they're gonna.
They're the worst.
They're playing like a top team.
They're the worst teams to play.
It's hard. It's hard.
They run you down until the last second because they need points to
Stay up.
stay up. I mean, we want to go to Fiorentina. We can go to Fiorentina.
Fiorentina now. I've coined them Pazza Viola. They're like Inter back in the day. They used to say Pazza Inter. None of their games are the same, and every time, even when they're in control of matches, like they were in control against Club Brugge, where you're man up, you're up by 2 goals, and then you're up by 1 goal. Sorry, right? And then they let the team back in. They let them into a game where you're like, there's no way that this team can get back into the match. And somehow they do. But then they're also kind of like Bayer Leverkusen, where I know they're going to win in the end. They've done it so many times where they'll score late on, and I guarantee you that they're going to score the goal to win the game.
I think Fiorentina is going to win the Conference League this year.
I think they're concentrating a lot of at this point, they're going to concentrate on this Conference League and give everything that they got to go to the final. It will be 2 finals in
3 years.
3 years?
3 finals.
3 finals in 3 years.
3 finals in the last 2.
Because there's the Coppa Italia.
Yeah.
There's the Coppa Italia.
Yeah,
So
the
there
Coppa
will be
Italia.
3 finals in 2 years. I think they're going to concentrate all the energy in this game coming up in the Conference League and try to go for the final. And then in the final, in Athene, anything can happen.
We spoke about the intangibles for Bayer Leverkusen. I feel like that's in the air for this Fiorentina side, with Joe Barone and everything that's happened, and the fact that he wasn't able to see them win a title last year with the 2 finals that they played. Which, by the way, they played 2 great finals. One against Inter, and then the one in the Conference League against West Ham, where they should have come away with at least one of those titles. But they were respectable losses. They played against really good oppositions. I just get that feeling. It could just be me. Yeah.
And today they celebrated the Villa Barone.
I saw that.
They inaugurated that. So that was nice. And the kids were there.
I saw the pictures online.
That's a nice touch.
Hopefully
that will be a beautiful end of the Campionato and the season before the European, to see Fiorentina just finally get something to show for.
Talking about, we talked a lot about coaches. I think the Commisso is trying to keep Italiano at Firenze, but Italiano might be on the market.
Yeah, I think he definitely is on the market.
I think it definitely is.
Torino is
no, he's not going to Torino.
Yeah, Juric,
he's going to go to Bologna. I think he takes over Thiago Motta's Bologna. That's my guess.
That'd be interesting.
Wait,
Napoli's out?
No, not out. So, no, Napoli's definitely in contention. I'm just making a guess.
Okay.
Why don't we talk about, since you're talking about Fiorentina and you mentioned Commisso, we were speaking off air about the stadium, because Commisso gave an interview. You were explaining it to me a little bit. Can you explain it? What's going on with the stadium?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of difficulties with the stadium. I guess a lot of bureaucracy. From what I understand, and I don't understand it that well, there is money that comes from the European community or the European Commission, where they allocate it to the region and they allocate it to the city, and this money is supposed to be spent for the city. And some of the people might say, well, but we don't need to spend them in the stadium. Let's spend them on the museum. Let's spend them in the road. Let's do other things that are more important for the city. So I think that plays some of it. Then from what I understand, some of the money is missing. I don't know where the money went. So did they spend it?
It's typical of Italy.
Where was it spent?
That's crazy.
And
seriously,
can it fall to Brooklyn and Bay Ridge over here by mistake?
And then there's
typical, like Greece.
The Comune is involved, which is the city, and then the region is involved, and then Italy is involved, and then the European Commission is involved, and it takes forever. The same thing with Roma. How many years have they been trying to do it? And the president was even willing to pay the roads to build a stadium, which there were no roads where they wanted to build. He goes, I'll pay for the road. and it still cannot be done.
Listen,
Can
Gaetano,
you imagine somebody with
It's
money
very, very
wanting to buy
frustrating
a stadium?
because in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of Europe, we don't look good. I mean, it's happening. They do it in the other countries. Why can we do it? And it will improve a lot the way you watch the game. In some, we have been in some of the stadiums. You know, you could be 100 yards away. If you're in Roma and you're in the Curva, you are 100 yards away. You know, you don't see anything.
Gaetano, the curse of the Stadio of Firenze is that the designer is one of the world-class renowned architect, Pierluigi Nervi.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So anyone that
about
goes...
a long time ago.
Wait a moment. Anytime, any architectural student that just walks into a building, a university of architecture, whether even it's in the United States, believe it or not, is one of the most sought, architects and study architect of the past. Pierluigi Nervi is one of the biggest one. È uno strutturista, è un architetto, è uno dei migliori al mondo.
I
Keep
understand.
that stuff in the museums.
I understand.
Stadiums need to be modern.
I understand that.
That's what's holding
But
up the
no,
idea
no, that's
and the
not-
project of Florence getting a new stadium. Rocco is a gentleman. He's a great guy, but with all due respect, he's just facing this big bureaucracy of Firenze.
But that can be worked around. They said we can work around that. We're not going to knock it down. We'll just work around it. We'll leave it standing where it is, but we'll work around. So I think that was settled.
It was settled?
It's a shame.
Yeah, the
it's
problem
it's a
is-
shame.
They are not, if Firenze is not taking advantage to the fact that they have Rocco Commisso being the president of Fiorentina, and Rocco down the line, maybe, I don't know, 10 years from now, is no longer the owner, they will regret
Let me ask you something.
not doing what they were supposed to do
Let
with
me
the
ask you
stadium.
something. You guys went to the stadium not long ago for the national team. How much did you pay for parking? Because I parked a mile away.
I think $20,
Okay, $20.
something like that.
I think it's more if you go to MetLife.
Oh, absolutely.
It's at
It's
least
about
$30.
30 to 40
At
bucks.
least.
It all
This is
depends on the
for the-
event.
$30?
30
I
to
think
$40,
$20.
depending on the
He's
event.
saying what? $60 for parking?
If you go
At the
to-
MetLife?
if you go to
Okay. He's saying $60
Give
for
him a
parking
drink,
at the
give him a
MetLife, which they have 80,000 people there.
Do the
okay?
math.
You know what I heard? That if you build a stadium in Firenze, the parking goes to the comune, to the city.
Yeah, the city.
So if you want to go and pay for that, it doesn't go. So I'm building the stadium. I'm putting my own money, and then I got to park the car, and it goes to the city. But you know how much money is
a lot of
$60? How much money you can make with parking?
Of course.
Hey, paisano, let me remind you something.
Doesn't make any sense.
In Italy, municipality, they live in charging taxes and royalties. Okay? So, if you expect to build a stadium and then you want to take all the money from the parking, you must be out of your mind. I think your
had a
drink
few
is
drinks.
spiked up. So, I'll tell you what happened.
No.
So
When you
if you
drink,
work
you say
out,
the truth, they
If you
say.
work out some sort of a project with a revenue sharing, solution where 30% or 40% goes to the municipality and 60% va all'imprenditore, alla squadra, so you can build up from the selling of the tickets and the shirts and the sponsorship and all the stuff. That could be a solution that can be worked out. But in Italy, this is the major problem that we're having. Still right now, we do not have a stadium in San Siro. It's been 10, 15, 20 years that we've been talking about a new stadium for San Siro.
And there's skyscrapers in Milan.
That's right. So it's never happening
The only modern
because
city.
In Milan is going to
there
happen.
is a big power struggle with the municipality
In
and
Milan
the power
it's gonna
sharing.
happen.
Just like Milan.
The thing is, it's just
Profit sharing,
Just
I mean.
Just
That's what I'm saying.
think about common sense, guys. Just common sense. You've got a businessman that's trying to improve an area. Red Bull Arena. You ever go to Red Bull Arena before? It was a disaster. It was a nightmare to go around there. Now there's restaurants, there's places to go, there's parks, because it improves everything. It makes it all around there.
The
It gives so
neighborhood.
many jobs.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that we got somebody that wants to come and put their own money to build a stadium that is going to improve the place. And again, Italy, we shoot ourselves in the foot. We're our own worst enemy, where there's no incentive for these guys to come in and do it because we don't even allow them to spend their own money without trying to take something for ourselves.
Anyways, we're done with this subject.
Yes.
You know what? I'll tell you
no,
what.
one more thing.
Let's
One more
throw
thing.
one more thing on the table. I'm going to do with that.
Do it.
Listen to this. I bet you, even if, because Rocco is capable, Rocco is a gentleman. I don't know him personally as well as Gaetano knows him, but Rocco, for me, he will be capable to say, hey, for the greatest goodness of the city and Fiorentina, I am putting all the money, I'm footing all the cost of the stadium, and we do 70 the city and 30 for the team. They're not going to go for. They want everything.
So one thing that Mike and I experienced, we were just in Cesena. They have a beautiful stadium. It's like an English style stadium where the fans are right there. There's no racetrack. Anywhere you sit in the stadium is beautiful. They got like a little skybox. We went out there thanks to the owners, Peter Chacha and John Aiello, and it was beautiful to see. They have some of the best attendance, 25,000. What they did, because we were asking them about it, they didn't want to own their stadium. They come from a real estate background here in New York. They got a 99-year controlling lease, which means they keep the money from the tickets, but they also can monetize their stadium in multiple ways. For example, concerts. That's one thing that they're doing. I think that was it Bruce Springsteen that they had 30,000 for, and they're going to plan more concerts because they're making a lot of money. They had the Italian national team play there. They got paid. They had Sassuolo, I think, played their first 6 matches of the season because their stadium was under renovations or it didn't qualify, whatever it was. They got paid. So it was so smart for them to find a workaround to this. Luckily, also, they have good relationships in Cesena. Things work in the north of Italy a little bit better than they do in the south, unfortunately. So that was one thing that we were able to see. But that was beautiful, beautiful. What? It's not true?
Don't put the south down.
What is it? You're born in Sicily. Is it true or not true that things work a little bit better in the north than they do in the south?
You know, for the most of all, yes, they work much better in the north, but they still having problem building a stadium in Firenze. So, and that to me is very disappointing. I would think that common sense will prevail in a city like Firenze and like Milano, that it would be a no-brainer to build a beautiful stadium especially when somebody else is paying for it.
Let me just say something. Let me just respond to that, okay?
It wasn't a dig at all. I'm half Sicilian.
Well, in the south, we don't have the emprendership and we do not have the kind of a cash, the fluidity and the pila, we call it in Italy.
De Laurentiis isn't one, right?
Well, De Laurentiis is one of the problems that we have. De Laurentiis is one of the few that we have over there that is capable to still remain as the owner of Napoli. He's got a lot of pressure from outside for people that they wanted to buy.
You think De Laurentiis has done well?
Well, he hasn't done bad.
So how come Bari's on the verge of going to Serie C?
Bari, it's under the ownership of you see, this is a dig. You see what I'm doing? Don't worry about it. Let me respond to you.
You guys were seconds away from going to Serie A last year, and now you're in an automatic relegation spot for Serie C with one game to play.
Okay, all right.
What happened?
So let me first of all, I saw Peter Chacha on Sunday. I totally forgot to congratulate myself to the fact that Cesena is in Serie A. I'm sorry.
Serie B.
So live, I'm going to do it live. Congratulations. But I said, I'm going to say to Peter, I said, maybe your next project will be to go back to where you come from and invest the money and buy Bari. Maybe I'll get you somebody else to help you out with that. So that way...
Well, if they go down to Serie C, maybe you could buy them.
Never say never.
That was another dig, by the
Maybe
way.
if they go down to Serie D, we can buy them.
Dean, you see what you did with those kids with your orange dream? When we're going to go off the camera, some of the stuff that I wanted to reply to him, I cannot really say.
So are you happy that they're going to go down?
It's going to be broken when the podcast is
So
over,
technically,
right?
you should be happy that Bari's going to go down because then you have a better chance of buying them.
I have no comment to that. Okay? I'm not going to reply to this low life offensive questioning, okay? So what is the next topic, by the way? Don't you have another topic?
I think we'll finish off. Well, might as well just say something about Serie B. Parma got promoted. Nice, historic. Another foreign ownership in Italy, by the way.
Salernitana's going down.
Salernitana's going down. We've known that for quite some time.
Yep.
Como nearly got promoted automatically. They didn't. Between them and Venezia, maybe next week we'll find out which one of them gets the automatic promotion. Again, two American ownerships. Sorry, Como's not American. They're Indonesian owned. Indonesian British owned, right? Something like that.
Foreign ownership.
Venezia is American owned. Last thing, Torino. It was the 75th anniversary of the Superga air disaster. And Peter Curto, I wish Peter was here to be able to explain it, but he worked hand in hand with the Caduti di Superga Mola Club, local guys over here in Brooklyn. Nick Pesce is one of the members, president of the club. Every year they do a tradition where they have a priest. He comes and does a blessing. They read out the names. This year, we were able to lend a hand, which I was very proud of. We got Torino, who donated jerseys. Very kind of them to be able to do that. So shout out to Torino for doing that. Serie A got involved, local Serie A. They brought the Scudetto, so the kids were happy. They played a local game over here in the Fial Fields in the back of Verrazano. So it was nice. It was cool, and we were able to do some content to help promote it and shine some light. It was pretty touching to see how many people from all around the world were surprised and thought it was a nice tradition to honor a team, so that they're never forgotten.
Especially outside of Italy, to bring that tradition. I think that's
that was
really
amazing.
nice.
So I played for Torino. There was a selection that was made in Brooklyn, and we went to Italy for 1 month. We stayed in Rimini, and the team was Torino.
Oh, Rimini, huh?
Yeah, we stayed in Rimini for
Brooklyn,
1 month.
Torino or Torino?
And then we played the Torino Primavera. We played the Bologna Primavera, and then they took us to Superga to go see where the disaster happened. And we bought the flowers. We were all dressed with jackets, the red jacket. We had the uniforms, and we played with the Torino shirt. And I should have pictures of. I think I still have pictures of that team.
How old are you?
That we played. This was in the 80s, after college, maybe in the mid 80s, early 80s.
Maybe it was.
Did you feel something when you went to Superga?
Yeah, of course. Of course you feel. I mean, this is the team. This is one of the greatest team that
history too
that ever played
in football.
And to lose, and those players, they were all a lot of them were national team players.
Mazzola, Mazzola's father was over there.
Father.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And I think I don't remember how many championships they won, but they won a lot of championships at that time. If you look at the standings of the championships, they are up there.
That's the thing that people don't realize is Torino was the team.
Yeah.
They dominated back in the day. I remember I asked my nonno Giovanni. He used to tell me, he's like, Torino was one of the best teams he ever watched. He used to compare them in the time when I was talking to him to like the Barcelona, when Barcelona were amazing. He's like, this is how they played. They were just dominant. You looked at Torino as a reference point, and it's tragic. It took out everybody. It took out the managers. It took out all of them. So they had to start from scratch, and they never became what they were. Crazy enough, Peter found the story. One of the assistants played in Brooklyn. He had a connection to Brooklyn. He played for the Brooklyn Wanderers, obviously before Torino. So there was even a Brooklyn connection there. Crazy. 75 years since that disaster. But when Mike and I went there, we went to Superga. I felt something, whether it was in my head or whether it wasn't. There's an eerie feeling when you go up there.
For sure. It was very silent, but you felt a lot, if that makes sense. It's hard to point it out, but I don't know. It was a very foggy day too. I don't know if it was just because it's very high up or whatever the case was, but you felt a lot being over there. Yeah,
it's a story that needs to be told more. I wish there was something more that could be done. Because it's a history of the league. It's something that was passed down to us. Obviously, it's not for a good reason, but either way, I think the tradition that Torino do, where they make the captain read out the names, is important because we shouldn't forget that, and it's something to pass down to the next generations. And the fact that we could do a little bit, 4,000 miles away over here in Brooklyn, to just be part of it and to let those kids find out the traditions is something important. So good job, Peter Curto, who did a lot of the legwork behind the scenes.
By the way, why he's not here tonight?
I don't know.
I guess Annalisa put him on a leash. Annalisa, if you're watching this podcast, good job.
I don't want to have to say.
Well, I said it.
Bravo. Okay, anything else, guys? Or we're good?
Yeah, let's finish the drink.
All right,
I
sounds
think
good.
We got everything.
Guys, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Reminder, Friday, hats, flags, both go on sale. This jersey, stay tuned. It'll be up soon.
Top of the description for the mailing list to get it earlier than the rest
So
of
if you
the
subscribe,
public.
if you subscribe, you get it first.
You get it first.
Hurry up,
exactly.
guys.
And I want the challenge. Somebody that gets a flag, get it on TV
Yeah, you get
at a
Antonio's
game.
signed sock.
No,
Yeah.
you're going to get something much better than that.
Get
Signed
my
jersey.
FTV. Everybody from my
I can
FTV
sign
signed
it.
shirt.
Guys, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao ragazzi.
And Forza
Milan,
and
Bari.
there we go.